Kunja Bihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja
Glories to everybody! So nice to see you.
So
Thank you for
lovely
joining
to
us
see
on
you.
Zoom. Thank you for your
Yeah.
lovely comments on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And once again, a friendly reminder, if you'd like to join us on Zoom, please email us at krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com with your first and last name and the reason why you would like to join in. This just helps us verify that you are not a robot. Okay, so
But what
that's
if they're
good.
a bhakti robot?
There will be one day
Yes,
a bhakti robot.
and then we will create a heart within the robot. Elon Musk did say, watch out for AI, so but if we could turn all the robots into bhakti bots,
Yes.
that would be great. Pew, pew, pew. So, and the thing is I know we go on about joining us via Zoom, but I have to say, just to see you guys, it just really warms my heart and your heart. And
Yes.
honestly, we get some of the coolest backdrops. Sometimes it feels like we're in the jungle, other times we're in someone's home, but we're not judging. I mean, look at our place. It's so humble. Like, who cares, right?
So
just-
today, thank you for singing
and thank you
such
for singing.
a complicated mantra. So we're gonna go over it. So
And we did throw the Maha Mantra in there too,
Yes.
because I know that this one, the Radha Madhava, can be a bit of a tongue twister. That being said, it's really great to add to our repertoire, right? To be able to pull out different mantras for different moods. And the reason why we chose this mantra for today is because it was written by a really, I just love this Acharya, this saint. His name is Bhaktivinode Thakur, and he was born in the 19th century, I think 1830, I can't remember if it's 37 or 38, but in the 30s, in the late 30s of the 1800s. So, and he was born in Bengal. At the time it wasn't West Bengal versus East Bengal, which is Bangladesh. This is, think of the British had was still a colonized country, which is, you know, is issues of its own right there. But we're just talking about a time and a place in history, right? And so this was still under the British Raj. And so the 1800s, think of it as a time of great progress in industrialization across the world. So his name was Kedarnath at the time, and he was born, I think he had like a family of 7 children, and they were quite well off, but then his father died while he was quite young, and then the family experienced some financial hardship. And so he sort of went under the wing of his uncle, Kashi, and Kashi was a great devotee of Nityananda Prabhu, who is, if you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, Gora Nitai. So think about that lineage coming from the Kirtan Wallas, the great Kirtan Wallas of the 15th and 16th century, right? That reignited the Kirtan movement right across Bengal and also to this day across the world. So he was a great devotee of Nityananda, who is an expansion of Balaram. And so he was also a great scholar, his uncle. And so he taught Kedarnath English. And so Kedarnath went on to become quite an intellectual and a scholar. He ended up becoming a school teacher, and he became a headmaster, and he pioneered the teaching of English in Bengal, but all languages, Bengali and English, because he just felt that it's important to have an education and also to be worldly. And this is what I love about him as a bhakti yogi. He didn't just shave his head and go live in an ashram somewhere. He fully participated in his community and in the material world, but he managed to have a fully ecstatic bhakti sadhana at the same time. So he went on to become a headmaster, and he wrote many scholarly works in English and Bengali, and he was fluent in Oriya and Urdu and Persian. So he was
many languages.
Yeah, he was multilingual, and he was also a bit prolific on the child front. He had 10 kids, and sadly his wife passed away, but he did remarry, and he had a total of 10 children. And he also became a deputy magistrate in Bengal. So imagine that sort of like, what is it? What is it? Is it the South Circuit? Which court in New York is the one that really gets you? if you're totally misbehaving at the South Circuit Court of New York, you know, the one we're all rooting for. So he actually was a magistrate. So imagine that, he was kind of like a bigwig in his time, and but at the same time, he was a great bhakti yogi, and he penned a lot of journals, Sajjana Toshini, and he also created Namahata programs all around Bengal. So imagine, rather than everybody's got to go to the temple, right? No, he said, no, all your homes should be a temple. And so the Namahata program is where we all set up a temple in our home, and we invite friends over, and we have kirtans and sangha. And so it's sort of like DeFi, but for spiritual life, you know? So it's decentralized spiritual communities, which to this day are still sustaining the Namahata programs. And it's a program that's been extended all around the world, even right here, in our room here. So what else about him? Oh, so one of his, he became the manager of the Jagannath temple in Puri, and he established regular worship of Jagannath there, and also Bhagavatam classes in the courtyard, daily Bhagavatam classes. And a quick shout out to Lord Jagannath. It was Rath Yatra, official Rath Yatra
in India,
in Puri,
yes,
in India, which it sort of shouldn't have been allowed because of the Delta variant right now. But nevertheless, they had a limited festival.
They celebrated the Smiling Trio right here.
We're celebrating the Smiling Trio as well. Bhaktivinode Thakur's fourth child would become Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the guru of my grandfather guru. So the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, his guru was Bhaktisiddhanta, who is Bhaktivinode Thakur's son, one of his 10 children. He took initiation, Diksha, but then took Shiksha initiation from Jagannath Das Babaji, and they helped uncover the birthplace of Chaitanya. I mean, there's so many things this guy did. And he was a prolific songwriter as well, so there are other songs besides Radha Madhava that he wrote. So not only is he ecstatic, well, his children are ecstatic, and he was a beautiful songwriter. So let's get to the song. The song itself, my grandfather guru, he loved to sing this song, and he said, and he used to actually sing it before Bhagavatam classes. So before, and it's kind of a tradition to this day still, where before you start a Bhagavatam class, you sing Jaya, Radha Madhava. And what he loved about it was he felt that it was a snapshot of the spiritual world. He's like, everybody's there. You've got Jaya, Radha, Madhava. So you've got Radha, you've got the goddess of love, right? The Shakti potency. And Jaya means all glories too. And then you've got Madhava. So Madhava is one of the principal names for the god of love, but it is a derivative of the word madhu, which means honey. So it's kind of like calling the god of love sweet like the honeybee, right?
Perfect.
So it's perfect, right? Kunja. Kunja is like the bushes, the groves, the thicket, the forest. But think of a forest of tulsi plants, right? So it is the forest of Vrindavan, but the groves, the beautiful little groves that you can play in. And Bihari means the supreme enjoyer. So this line, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, it is all glories to the goddess of love and the god of love, who enjoy loving pastimes within the groves of Vrindavan. So let's create a mental picture of what that looks like. The god of love and the goddess of love with their loving pastimes in the forest of Vrindavan. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri dhārī. giri, vara, dhārī. So let's go word for word. Jaya, all glories to.
Jaya is like woohoo!
Gopi jana
Victory.
is the gopis, and jana means people, right? So the gopi people. Vallabha is like favorite, beloved, right? Lover. So he's the favorite, beloved of the gopis. And the gopis are not ordinary people. These are bhakti yogis who lifetime after lifetime have just become so elevated that they finally take birth and can participate as the beloved of God, which is an incredibly intimate relationship. And it doesn't matter if we're in a male body in this lifetime or a female body, or we identify somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. We can all aspire to that loving service of the divine. So don't let our kind of material designations hinder us. We can still engage in that divine love. So he's the beloved of the gopis. And then he's giri, vara, dhārī. So this is an interest. It's an allusion to a specific pastime. So in the days of Braj, when Krishna was just a little kid, so at this point he's 7 years old, 7 to 8, and he sort of said, you don't need to worship Indra. And so the residents of Braj stopped doing Indra yagya. And Indra got mad. So Indra is a very powerful demigod. He's the god of heaven. So in Vedic philosophy, heaven is not a final destination, nor is hell. They're places you go to burn off some karma. So hell is not eternal, it just feels that way when you're there. And heaven also, be careful with your pious karmic credits. There will be a time that you come down if you waste your good karma, right? If you waste your opulences in being indulgent and greedy and cruel to other living entities, your good karma is going to burn up, and you're going to have to come down to Mrityaloka, which is the earthly plane, right? But it's a good plane to be on because we get enough sweetness that we follow spiritual life, and there's enough material pain there to keep us on our path. So they stopped worshipping Indra, and Indra got mad. So he sent these terrible rain clouds that just poured down on the residents of Braj. But Krishna said, even the worst you've got is the equivalent of my little finger strength. And he lifted Govardhan Hill with his little pinky, his left pinky, because he was right-handed, and he showed Indra, the best you got, I can handle with my pinky on my weak hand. So he kind of took Indra down a notch. But still, these are all, there's no bad blood between Krishna and Indra. These are loving pastimes between divine entities, and to be Indra, right? So, but he's talking about this pastime. Yaśodā nandana. So nandana means the beloved child of Yaśodā. And so Yaśodā is Krishna's mother in Vrindavan, actually his foster mother, because he was raised by foster parents. And again, so God wants to have these pastimes that are intimate, and if you know God is God, you're not going to pretend to be God's mother or father or lover. You're going to be like, oh yes sir. But God likes to have these intimate loving pastimes, and great yogis, great bhakti yogis can have those pastimes with God. So one of those pastimes is vatsalya ras, it's parental love. Yaśodā nandana. Braja, jana, rañjana. Again, that word jana, people. So, and braja jana is the people of Braj. Braja jana, rañjana. Rañjana means delights the people of Braja. So, the God of love delights the people of Braj. Braja jana. Yamuna tīra, vana, cārī. So, Yamuna is the Yamuna river, right, in Vrindavan. Yamuna tīra. Tīra means land. So where the water meets the land is the banks. So
Which
the
tīra
banks
just remind me, it might come from the word tierra. Tierra.
So Sanskrit is an Indo European language. So yeah, It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
I love it. That actually, my Diksha Guru, Hridayananda Das Goswami, he's a Sanskrit Harvard PhD. I know that's totally name dropping, but I just want to say that he knows this Sanskrit and he loves to take the words and show their etymological origins, you know, and it can be really good because it kind of gives you faith that it's not all kind of new age hooey, you know. So Yamuna Tīra, so there's the banks of the Yamuna. Vana, Vana again forest, so the banks of the Yamuna coming onto the forest. Cārī, so cārī means to live or so brahmachari, you know, living the life of Brahma, so means living, hanging out, having pastimes along the banks of the Yamuna in the forest. So what's specific about this and what Prabhupada really liked was it is a snapshot of the spiritual world in Vrindavan. So sometimes later on in Krishna's pastimes, he's in Dwarka, there's Bhagavad Gita, there are battles. It's like, it's get to work time. But Vrindavan is all, it's the fun stuff, right? And so think about us when, during our highest times. Are our highest times where we're at work? No, our highest times are where we're hanging out with our most beloved. So the meditation for this is full Vrindavan Leela. It's all awe and reverence is just out the door. There's no awe and reverence. We're rough and tumbling with the God of love, and mixing it with the Maha Mantra is also sweet because the Maha Mantra, Prabhupada said, it is a prayer to be in the service of divine love. So if we are meditating on Vrindavan Leela and then we're singing a mantra to be engaged in the service of divine love, maybe one day our meditation can take us to a place in our spiritual life where we can also really be immersed in the divine realm.
That requires practice.
And it requires practice. Yeah, it's a sadhana. And sometimes when I'm playing, sometimes my mind goes off somewhere. I have to bring it back, you know. And sometimes the voice sometimes hits a bum note. It's okay. It's not a performance. It's a sadhana. And it is a sadhana that was really encouraged for this day and age, which is Kali Yuga, which is really tough. There's sirens, especially in America. God, they love their sirens in America for anything. Oh, I need a fresh donut. Yeah, I need a coffee and a donut. Woo, yes, like, for God's sake. And then there's choppers overhead, and it's like, just make the kirtan louder.
Yes.
Louder kirtan.
I used to live in Hollywood, and oh my God, the helicopter was there all the time. So it was just like, it felt like an action movie all the time.
And then every now and again, you get those little, you know, those little 4.0 earthquakes where you're like, is this it?
So the point is like, with kirtan, you just like start singing, and it's easier just to come above the
yeah. For me personally, I find it easier than silent meditation. And yes. I do like silent meditation. I'm really lousy at it.
Let's sing.
Yes, let's sing. So if there is a part of this prayer that really you were able to create a vision in your mind, meditate on that, because that's the goal here. We're not just mouthing off like just nonsense. We're actually mouthing off real specific things. So if it's the bank of the Yamuna that captures your mind, meditate on that. And if it's the playful Krishna lifting up Govardhan Hill, if it's the amorous pastimes with Radha, like whatever's your jam, meditate on that. Apologies for not going into the rag, but I have a reason for that, and that's because there are different melodies for this song, and some people say it's Dabri Kannada, some people say it's Asawari, some people say it's Kafi. I agree. I think it's Kafi. I don't think it's Dabri Kannada at all, or Asawari.
How would let's go over Kafi if you don't mind.
Okay, so Kafi has two komal notes, two flat notes, ga and ni. Sa re ga. My was Dabri Canada or Asauri, it would be sa, and it might even have common re. Sa, re,
So what I just did, I put on the screen the kafi rag. Arohi means going up, and arohi means going down.
Abrohi.
Abrohi, and also I put it on the Zoom chat box, so we can do going up and going down. And
Also, kafi was super prevalent during
that time period.
that time period, so that's why I think it's kafi
Okay,
as well.
let's do it slowly.
So we'll do kafi. Sa, re, and approach ga from above. Sa, re, ga, ma, ni, sa, sa, ni, ga,
Sa. One more time.
sa, re, The best time for kafi is nighttime, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's also known as Bhairavi of the night, and its rasas are Shringara or divine love, both in union and separation. So you can actually have both moods.
So the kafi rag spells Kafi.
And definitely the Mahamantra melody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's also in kafi as well. Alright, armed with all our spiritual tidbits, we can engage now, same kirtan, but now really meditating on the pastimes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Radha
Vrindavan Dham ki. Srila Bhaktivinode Thakur ki.
Jaya Jagannath.
Jaya Jagannath.
Jaya Baladev.
Jaya.
Jaya Subhadra.
Jai.
Jai. I love that this week was Rath Yatra and celebrating the Smiling Trio.
Yes. And the thing is, we have so many great kirtaniyas also living right now. There's so many great kirtaniyas, but also across the centuries with so many inspiring melodies, and their stories are so interesting and need to be told, because the more we tell these stories about these great acharyas, saints and sages, the yogis, yoginis, Thakurs and Thakurinis, the more we'll realize that it's an attainable thing, you know? It's like they're amazing people, but they're all just people, and so it's great to aspire to that, and also to sort of pay homage to it, because it's our lineage, it's our Kirtan family, right, that goes back thousands and thousands of years, and they're all pulling us back, right?
Yes.
Back to the spiritual world. That's
And
what the Seeker's for.
that is true.
That's why all men should have a top bun, so we can pull you back
Or
up.
long hair.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I want to invite you all who are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram that you can join us on Zoom. It is, just email us at krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com with your first and last name, and with that we make sure we know who you are and we let you in. Please put a Kirtan alarm. We are at 7 p.m. Los Angeles time every Wednesday, and at 7 p.m. Sydney, Australia time every Wednesday. So 2 different slots, so it depends which
So
one
if
works
you're a
best for
night
you.
owl and you want to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you can
Yes.
join the Euro time. Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Oh yeah, if you're doing the walk of shame home from the club, you can actually
Get your bhakti
get
before
your
going to bed.
bhakti on.
Exactly, and once again, like Sri mentioned, all of these pastimes, we have them recorded on our YouTube channel. So please go to youtube.com/c/Krishna Kirtan Music.
Yeah, if you
And
just
we-
want to hear
And
them
we
all the
have
time.
this playlist with all of these classes, and we go over the ragas, the mood of the raga, the pastimes associated with that week, because there's always something in the week that we're celebrating.
Oh my God, the calendar.
Yes.
is just
So,
full.
so for example, regarding Jagannath, I think last week or the week before we were singing Jaya Jagannath, so you can listen to Jaya Jagannath and also go listen to the explanation that Sri gave for us.
Oh, Jagannath is ecstatic.
Yes,
Jagannath
yes.
he's such an unusual looking deity, because
Like he has his
he's-
eyeballs
he's
like
got
dilated.
ecstasy.
God in ecstasy, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. And once again, just a friendly reminder, I'm going to give you the link as well to support. This is a donation-based Kirtan, and we welcome your support at Venmo at Krishna Kirtan Music, at paypal.me at Krishna Kirtan Music, and at patreon.com/Krishna Kirtan Music. If this is too many links, just go to krishnakirtanmusic.com and they are all there. And I want to make sure you put your alarm for next week, because we are,
What does this alarm sound like?
it's on like,
Okay.
yes.
And we love seeing you. Any week you can join us is just great.
Yes, you're always
blessing.
welcome, and from now on, you are on the guest list for all of you who are
Yes.
here on Zoom.
For you who've joined us on
you don't
Zoom,
need to
you're on the
email us
list.
every week.
Yeah.
And I think we cover everything. If you have any questions, please stick around on Zoom. If you have any questions on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, please write it to us or message us, and we try to cover it within the next 48 hours. And we're gonna be signing off from YouTube and Facebook right now, and Instagram.
But we're going to stick around on Zoom. So
Yes, thank
if
you
you
for
have
joining us.
Thank you.
Radhe, Radhe.